Test, test. In order to really help you understand the significance of what I'm about to share, I'll need to give you some context. Therefore, please bear with me while I do so, because I believe this is very impactful. We all get some unexpected twists and turns in our life, with some being out of our control and some being very much within our ability to prevent. And mine was most certainly the latter. It is important to know that discipline, consistency, grit and perseverance were qualities that I had in abundance as I was growing up. What is also very important to remember, to really grasp what I'm trying to get across here, is that I needed to have those qualities. My parents made me go to freestyle wrestling from the age of 6, and I continued doing so until I was about 20 years old. And the proof is in my ears, literally. You can see the cauliflower ears. In fact, the lack of choice created this ballistic missile of hunger to be free, and the finger was on the trigger up until I moved abroad when I was 20 years old. Even still to this day, when it comes to making a choice, I struggle so much because I simply don't know how to choose. Choosing makes me feel like I'm taking away the option from someone else to choose something they want to choose. So when I moved abroad, I finally had freedom, and I wasted no time to press that trigger and start doing what I wanted. However, there was a problem. I realized very quickly that I did not know what I wanted to do, which kind of made me implode emotionally. I had so much choice, and yet I could not choose. I got extremely overwhelmed. I kept thinking that I might make a wrong choice, or that I will badly miss out on something that, thinking about it, I didn't even know existed. Unfortunately, that situation caused me a lot of hardship, like dropping out of uni, large debts, losing friends, addiction, self-sabotage, self-destructive behavior. I was content with suffering in a sense, all because I wanted to step away from doing what I needed to do and start doing what I wanted to do. I had to somehow close that chapter and open up a new one, so I did. I remember going to my lectures after I missed 6 months, and one of the students that remembered me came over to me and said, "Holy shit, Ailandas, where have you been? I thought you've gone missing or something." Something about what he said made my cogs turn in my head. It suddenly clicked. I have been missing myself as well. Such a simple question from somebody that I didn't really notice before, or know that well got me lost for words. I eventually snapped back and I simply said that I was having a hard time due to family, which was completely not true. Yet again, I was in a conflicting situation, because now I realized that I need to do something about my situation if I wanted to be myself. But then again, I never knew who I was. I never made a choice. I never did what I wanted to do. Therefore, I did not know who I wanted to be. Luckily, that question was burnt into my head, and I was determined. It was life or death for me at this moment, so I went into deep introspective work. Started ruffling up the dust off of my shelves of subconsciousness. Within weeks, I got myself into an apprenticeship to study accountancy. I dove headfirst into self-development, and I started breaking my bad habits, and I started burning bridges between me and people that were a mirror of the negative self that I was before I got asked that question. Within the first year of starting work, I had completed my apprenticeship, and within those dusty shelves of my mind, I have finally rediscovered my consistency. Within the next 5 years, I have rediscovered my discipline and grit by becoming a chartered accountant and a head of finance. A bit later, I moved to a different business and I started managing a fund. Within the following few years, I rediscovered perseverance and started my own accountancy practice. I became fully self-employed, being my own boss and managing my own time. I was moving up in life, but there is always a but. I was still doing what I needed to do. I was doing what other people were suggesting or recommending. I was doing what my family or friends said was a good choice. None of it was what I wanted to do. This is extremely important because I was lacking purpose, and the only direction that I had in life was guidance and not choice. It was clear that I still needed to do some deep introspective work. This is where productivity came in. So, as some of you may know by looking at my YouTube channel, I am a productivity and a habit coach, and there's a good reason for that. It is because I firmly believe that productivity is something that is not being looked at correctly, and it is something that allowed me to achieve what I could never manage to do in nearly 32 years. Do you remember all those references that I made to needing to do things and wanting to do things? The lack of choice that I had in my life that prevented me from being able to truly know what I wanted to do. All of it got fixed in the recent years, and it keeps getting better and better, and productivity played a massive part in it. So how do I see productivity? Well, I certainly don't see it how the majority do. A word with a negative connotation, largely relating to doing things that need to be done whether you like it or not. There's so much more to it. I see it as a key vehicle to be able to make a choice and transition your day-to-day from needing to do things to wanting to do things. For example, we all know that we need to work to be able to sustain ourselves and have a roof over our heads. But what if you wanted to work? This is where coaching came in for me. Through a lot of hard introspective work, I found out that deep down inside, I wanted to be a healer, someone who helps people change their lives, who makes a difference in the world, however small it may be, using my experience and education. I became a certified life coach and opened up another business, which is now my primary focus, and I want that to be my main source of income. Same with social media. I felt like I needed to have it in order to fit in and have friends, but now I want to utilize it to spread good, life-impacting information to help as many people as I can. Therefore, productivity is a primary catalyst for something that I could never figure out throughout my life so far. I finally have a choice, and I'm systematically moving away from needing to do things to wanting to do things, changing people's lives, living in a van so I can travel around the world with my wife, looking after my body through physical exercise that I want to do, looking after my mind through the education that I want to do, nourishing my soul through meditation and mindfulness. I finally dusted off the shelves of my mind, but I also fully restocked them with happiness, joy, fulfillment, and gratitude. I do not need anything else because life is not an effort any longer. I still needed to go through everything that I went through in order to get here and gain invaluable experience that I used to build out extremely unique frameworks to help people do the same and realize what I want to do. But now I know I will not need to just be a shell that was filled up with choiceless direction, because I am no longer one. I am finally me, radiating my true self, and that is what I want to share with you and the rest of the world through my work and this channel.